Good morning from Warsaw in Poland, and welcome to this live stream from the EUF Summer Tours. Um, my name is Benjamin Ort, and I'll be commentating for you this weekend. And I'm very excited to see this tournament. Obviously, it's the last tournament before the ranking deadline coming Monday, and this weekend will determine, for the most part, or for a big part, who's going to take place in the EUCF later this season. Today we got a wonderful matchup for you. We got Heroes Flying Disc from Hungary taking on Savage from Poland. These two teams have lots to play for, and this is actually the Summer Tour in Warsaw in the mixed division is one of the more interesting ones, in my opinion, because it has a lot of teams that are still in the mix for a spot at the EUCF, and also quite some teams that really need to put up a big performance this weekend to climb their way up in the rankings. And so if you haven't checked it out, make sure to check out the EUCS rankings. You can go to ranking.ultimatefederation.eu and can see all the teams in all the divisions. It's a very good app developed by EF and mostly Ravi Vasudevan has had a big part in creating that system and the website, and it works good. You can see all the ranking points awarded to each team, the records, and many more things. Matchup tabs. You can see the rosters, previous results, and so I believe a lot of people will be tuning in next Monday in the last version of this season's In and Out, the podcast hosted by Ravi, where he will be announcing which teams will be going to the EUCF and which teams will not. So both teams have completed our warm-up now. We have Savage Ultimate in red and Heroes Flying Disc in their blue-black-ish kit. I'll do my best to identify the player numbers and potentially also names. And we'll do my best on pronunciation as well. But please forgive me if it might not be to the standard you would have liked. But so, as you can see, we got Savage Ultimate, two-time, the last two editions of Polish Nationals, hosted in mid-September usually. Savage has won in the mixed division, so definitely the team to beat from Poland. And on the other side, we got Heroes Flying Disc from Budapest, who have also won their last two editions of Nationals. As the first pool is up, floats out of bounds, and Savage will start from the brick mark. The reason I unintentionally mentioned Skydisc there is because although Savage is the sitting champion for the last 2 years, current champion of Poland, it's actually Skydisc Warsaw, the host team for this tournament, that is performing slightly better this season so far, as Savage is. And we'll be trying to get their spot into the ECF. So we have a first travel call, first pass. This goes back. Looks like calm conditions. Swing pass. Try to squeeze it in. Doesn't connect. Heroes back on offense. First break chance. As they go deep right away, wasting no chance. And there's too many defenders underneath that disc, to be honest. It's now Savage goes the other way. This time no travel call on that sideline. Moving it back up the line. Looking reset. So we see the hammer over the top. And it works out. It's quite a passive offensive possession, I feel like, for Savage. Player with the disc in hand really waiting for something to happen, and at some point decided to take measures into his own end and just attack that break side with the hammer throw. It's the first day of competition on this summer tour here in Warsaw. It's only a mixed division here, but definitely some interesting matchups happening. It's 11 teams, so there's a very annoying amount of teams for tournament organizers. 10 or 12 would be much easier, but so there's 2 pools, one of 6, one of 5. It's a matchup from Pool A. So we see Heroes with their first offensive possession. Their whole line, actually. See quick handler dominated movement. Really using on and then go for a hammer of their own. And that's a nice high take. That was Luca with the shot to the end zone. So, and she's staying out there on defense. So, Heroes disc, bringing a small roster to this tournament. So see another look at that hammer. Nicely placed. High take. Lovely score. I believe only 15 players rostered, which is challenging, to say the least. So lots of playing time for these players, but can also be very much playing into their advantage, especially on this first day when the legs might feel quite fresh. And I mean, the benefit of a smaller roster is that you can get into a rhythm as a player and build chemistry with your line. You usually play with the same people. As Savage wastes no time going deep against the Hungarian zone. Nice offensive play. Seems to be a foul called. So you have another look at that hammer. Players discussing the play. Hungarian player definitely came from behind. I guess he's arguing he went up, got the disc, and got there early, which I think is a good argument. The Savage player may be saying, well, you came over the back of me and initiated contact, which from my angle I couldn't really see if that happened, but come to a solution, sent the disc back. Seemed to be a good conversation between the two players. and agreed to disagree. So this goes back to the thrower. So we see the Hungarian zone with a sort of wall diamond kind of cup around the disc. Very aggressive, which opens up that over the top shot for Savage. As they now move it quickly into the end zone for the easy hold. So I would be interested to find out if this will be the gameplay for the Hungarians all game or perhaps all weekend. Bringing such a small roster also forces you to be a bit creative with your tactics. So perhaps the zone is their way to sort of manage a bit of that load and trying to slow down the opponent's game. So as I was saying, it's 2 pools on this tournament. It's only mixed teams. We have Savage and Heroes, obviously, the 2 teams playing here. In this pool, we have Steamhack from Turkey and Mosquitoes from Austria, as well as Skydisk from Warsaw and KS Flow from Wrocław. So those are the 6 teams from Pool A. And in the other pool, we have Malmo from Sweden, Tartu Turbulence from Tartu, EUCS Ultimate, also from Poland. Then we got Pelt from Ireland, and Out also from Hungary. So we see Deep Shot go up. Nice defensive effort. It was a tough read. Maybe also the sun made it a bit more difficult. Disc was just floating up there for slightly too long. I think that's Finn Stummer that was trying to read that disc from for the Heroes. But that disc was in the air for a bit too long, so the Polish defender could make a play. Savage goes the other way. Swing slightly too high. It's a golden opportunity to take another break. Or another, to take another break. That's right. It's now the Hungarians in their red zone offense. Nice give go movement, no travel called. And again, it's Luka Takas with the stat here, having a big impact so far, as Heroes tied up for 2-2. So of these 11 teams, just to get back on this on the ranking, if you're not familiar with it, at this point, only 3 teams are in ranking spots for the EUCF. That's Mosquito sitting at 5th in ranking. That's Heroes, Flying Disc, playing from the 10th position of the ranking. And that's Tartu, Turbulence, from the 12th position. Meaning that if nothing changes, those will be the only 3 teams that will make it into the EUCF. All the other teams are below that. So Peld in 18, Out in 19, Sky Disc in 22nd, Malmo in 24th. So they're all sort of in that range that is still, if they have a very good tournament, they could still move themselves up. But so they would have to really perform well, especially against those three teams that are in the ranking. Nice play down the sideline. The disc was caught. Out is called. Same thing happens as always. All the players from the offensive team say it's in. All the players from the defensive team say it's out. I wish we could have a replay at this point to see. So they're discussing. She definitely dragged her foot. Players seem to agree on that. The only question is whether she was able to catch it before her feet started to touch the line, as they seem to come to an agreement to send the disc back. As we have a look at the replay, that's looked into me. At least her back foot, I feel like, was in as she caught it. I'm not sure about her front foot, if that was still in the air. Anyway, it doesn't matter anymore because the disc is already back in play. So see Kasmerek, who's been dominant for this team so far with 2 goals. As they go up the line, nailed bid. She had it in her hand, but just bounced out. Great effort. Maybe slightly casually thrown by the receiver here, making it slightly difficult for his receiver. She did all she could, but just couldn't hold on to that disc in the end. Lovely inside shot to number 88, Ben Stott, to Lowy. Back to the middle. I believe that's Nagy. Pick is called. The Heroes really taking their time here so far. Good pressure from Savage, realizing the importance of this possession. They just get it off. I think that's back to Nagy. High swing. What a take! Got up early and got up high. What a D. I think that's Kashmelek again as he continues to cut. Goes for the hammer and finishes the double Happiness. The bookends. Really all over the field so far for this Heroes flying disc. For this Heroes flying disc team is a very difficult matchup they haven't figured out yet. And Savage happy to take advantage of it. Taking all 3 goals for the Polish side so far. So as I was saying, the top 3 teams are in a bit of a tricky position. Mosquitoes and Heroes and Tartu. They will be under lots of pressure in all those games because every team that plays against those teams will put everything on the line to score good. So the way the algorithm works is that it predicts pretty much a score if you play against another team. So the predicted score or the expected score for this game would be a 15-13 win for Heroes Flying Disc. And that's sort of the benchmark that both these teams will be playing for. As we see Heroes go deep right away, no one's there. It's an easy way for Savage to extend their lead if they can punch in this break. So what I'm saying is the expected score for this game is Heroes to win 15-13. So that means that even if Heroes win 14, that would still be slightly, that would still benefit Skydisk, and at this point would hurt Heroes. So any point matters here. Every point matters as the Savage D line tries to convert with a deep shot of their own. Also, this one not connecting, unfortunately. And so for Heroes, it's and the same goes for Mosquitoes and Tatu. It will be a tough position because they will probably, the algorithm will predict that they will win most of their games by a couple of or quite some points. And so what they have to do is pretty much crush everybody in order for them to gain positions. The alternative is to win the tournament, which will give them an automatic bid as Heroes takes a timeout as they catch their breath. So yeah, definitely the algorithm system that is introduced for the first time this year by the EUF. It's definitely yeah, that's its interesting part, and they all come together in this last summer tour weekend when everything is still to play for, and sort of the general ranking of the teams, where teams are in comparison to the others, is sort of set, but still, this last weekend, a lot of things can change. And because all the summer tours, also the winners of them, get awarded a straight bid to the EUCF, that makes things very much interesting as well. So even if your ranking position is maybe outside of the top 16, so for example, at this point, Savage Ultimate is ranked 26th. So actually, quite some places behind the top 16. So they will have to do an awful lot to make the ranking into the top 16. But actually, what's maybe more likely or more of their focus is to try to win this tournament. And then they could still be, let's say, they move up a bit to the 18th spot. They're still not in the top 16, but because they won a summer tour, they will still get a direct wild card, so called, to the EUCF. So yeah, we are definitely looking at who's winning this game, obviously. That's what it's all about. But we're also looking at what does this game do in terms of their expected score and the actual score. So how does this game do compared to the 15-13 expected score? So we see the Hungarians. Luka going up the line. Another hammer shot. This one too far. And now I figured out that the I thought it was some logo, but the person throwing that, I believe that's number 0. That would be Ferenc Clement with tape on his jersey. So maybe he forgot his jersey back home, and thankfully made at least an effort to put a number on his jersey, which is always good for the commentator, so we know who's playing. But so far the jersey swap hasn't been great for his playing. Second turnover at this point. As Savage tried to go deep, but doesn't seem to work. A bit of a messy point so far. As we see another turnover. Let's see what team can clean up. A lot of contact there on the reception. Savage move it around the back. And that's such a unfortunate turnover. They were doing so well moving the disc, and then that's a turnover that it's very easy to make. It's made it myself a lot of times as well, where you take the upline shot and poach from the back of the stack, comes in that space, usually quite late, so you don't see it as you're throwing it. But yeah, it was a sneaky. As the Hungarians waste no time going deep. That's a nice shot. If she can keep it in bounds, no, she cannot. It looked like a nice shot. It was again Clement. Just it's the third turnover now of the point. Trying to find Luka Takac. One assist and one goal so far. She was open, but just out of reach, forcing Heroes Flying Disc to come up with another defensive possession here. Nice gainer to the middle. Not a gainer. 9-on-1. See travel call. But then resulting into a turnover. So that means that the disc will be picked up by the Hungarians. To go to Clement. To the far side, shot to the end zone. A couple players underneath it. Can't seem to hold on. So you see, so far it's apart from, and as I believe Savage has taken a timeout, second timeout of this point. Apart from the big block from, I believe that was Kashmarek from Savage, we haven't seen many defensive plays. It's mostly been just execution errors. Both these teams really have to clean those up. It's still early. It's still the first game of the tournament. But if these teams want to have a good shot at making and performing well at the EUCF, they really have to clean these possessions up. It seems like there's almost no wind, good ultimate conditions, so really not a lot of excuses here. So happy to see both teams trying to clean up those execution errors. Skydisk so far this tournament have played one tournament with sanctioned games in the beginning of this year. That's the spring tour in Malmo in Sweden, where they actually went 5-1. So they won all of our games except for one game against Pelt, which they lost 15-8. So actually 5 wins and only 1 loss. Heroes, on the other hand, are 3-3. Well, how are they much higher in the ranking system? Well, that's because they probably lost their games with a slightly tighter margin, but also, and that's what the point I'm trying to get to is they played against better teams. So their losses came from Deep Space, who is currently sitting in second place, I believe. Mosquitoes, who's also at this tournament, but they are sitting at fifth place, and Tauchen, which is currently sitting in first place and really almost in a league of their own in the mixed division this year. Bit of a shame that the Gut mixed team is not playing this year. I've been a part of that team for most of my ultimate playing career. I would say for almost 10 years, I feel like. Won 4 European Championship with the team. And so, I would have loved to play against EUCS Taucher. But not this year, at least. So we'll see how these teams fare up this weekend. And Savage back on offense as we see some call, I believe, some violation call. Seems to have not affected that throw, I believe, as they agree on. So this stays in the hand of Romanowski. So he goes back to the middle. This guy is moving only backwards at this point. I would love for them to attack that reset a bit more. Right now they're just taking what the Hungarians give to them instead of really taking what they want to get. There's probably more yardage gain. As we see the female matching players doing a lot of the heavy lifting in terms of the cutting for this guy, for this Savage team. Doing an excellent job so far as they reset again. Big gainer, big pressure on that throw. And who else with the catch? With the run through. Good sense as soon as they appeared into the frame that this was going to be either a highly contested pressured catch or a run through block. It's now the Hungarians. Should still, believe it or not, this is still their O-line out here for at least 5 minutes, I would say, at this point. 2 timeouts. I don't know how many turnovers at this point. So we see nice poach attempt from the Polish player. Trying to move back to the small ball kind of offense. As they go to the end zone now with a blade. Again, it's overshot. And if you're Savage, I mean, yes, you want to, of course, score this point. As we see Clement, I think, trying to count when the disc should have been checked in. Savage taking a shot to the end zone now. Another turn. As I was saying, if you're Savage, sure. I mean, you're making a lot of mistakes that you don't want to make, so you cannot be too happy with it. But on the other hand, you're really draining this Hungarian O-line. They're only playing with 15 players, so they probably don't have any subs on their O-line. They probably have only two lines, one D-line, one O-line. And so if you can have that O-line out there for a good amount of time as we see another turn, I'm quite happy with that if I'm Savage. Let them feel it in their legs a bit. That will probably hurt them even more later on this game. So see another run through block from Takac. As that's the fourth block we've seen this game, compared to at least 15 unforced turnovers on the side. Yeah, we already see some Polish players, but a lot of Hungarian players, hands on their knees, on the ground, really desperately needing that timeout. So again, I think you're liking your position better if you're Savage, especially Heroes having to win this game by at least two to gain points from this. Um, it's going to be a long weekend for them, I think, if they only show up with 15 players. So yeah, to get back to my point about both these teams. So Sky is going 5-1 and Heroes going 3-3. So it's um, does matter, of course, the level of teams you play against, or the opponent level is very important. And so Heroes have played better teams so far than Skydisc has. And in order for Skydisc to climb in the ranking, if they play against teams that are worse or much worse than them, they would need to beat them by a lot more in order for them to climb in the ranking. So just beating them in this system is not enough. So even if you can go 5-1, which Skydisc has done, which is a great record, and a better record than a lot of teams that are higher than them. They either need to win by more, or you have to get the opportunity to play against higher level teams. Of course, if you play against higher level teams and you get crushed, that's still going to hurt you. So it's not. There is a case to be made that if you play higher level teams, that it's easier to climb in the ranking, one could say. But on the other hand, if you really get crushed there, that then the you won't get many points for that, because it will then be very clear that you cannot compete with these higher level teams. So that you should also not be near them. So yeah, that's definitely interesting about this weekend, and especially about this Barca tournament. Quite a good spread of top teams in the top 10, but also some teams that are challenging those top teams. You see Heroes out of the timeout. Thought about the hammer for a second. Doesn't take it. Now goes up line, but there's no one there. And that's the last thing you want from the Heroes. I think that's their second timeout so far already used. If I'm not mistaken, you only have two per half, so for the rest of this half, they will have to keep playing. And the longer this point goes on, the more difficult it will be for them. Savage now goes deep. Couple players underneath it. Gets tipped a couple times. They cannot connect. The big frame of Clement getting that block. You see a back and inside shot to the middle. See a pretty good switch, I feel like. More of a flash. So we're trying to find Clement. Sees directing traffic, waiting for the right option. Dumps back to Gubek. To catch. She goes for another blade. This time it works. As Heroes finally take this marathon point. At this point, I haven't counted the turnovers. Maybe people have. As we see Clement taking a rest in the shadow. This game, it's been going on for 38 minutes and the score is only 3-3, so it really says a lot about, in my opinion, the execution of these teams. Both not starting this tournament the way they want to. Amount of unforced errors really high, especially at this level of play that these players trying to achieve. Going for the EUCS, so only the best of the best mixed teams in Europe. That's where they're aiming to be. So we saw the last point took 22 and a half minutes. So if you're Savage here, you desperately want to get a quick hold in so you can get that Hungarian O-line back out there. And of course, if you're Heroes, this is your moment to get the Savage O-line out of their rhythm. They're trying to do that with their zone, and it has worked so far. Shot to the middle. It's not working out. So now Heroes have a chance to take a break. That's an unfortunate drop on the underneath. Savage picks back up the zone. They're setting it up again. This time a bit of a three-person cup. They go around. Scuba over top. Swing it patiently. And I feel like if you're Heroes, you're also happy with this. I feel like you're taking time. You're forcing Savage to, in this messy game so far, be precise. When just prove my point, both teams have not showed up very precise this game so far. So pretty good tactic to then go with the zone and force them to execute lots of passes. As we see, again, that was number 11, Finn Stummer, with the drop just a minute ago. This time a drop, but foul is called. Definitely had his hands on there. And they've seemed to come to an agreement. Uncontested foul. So Stummer with the disc. So he looks to the end zone. He wants it. He takes it. High disc. It's floating. There's a couple Polish players underneath it. And there were the two bigger bodies. I think that was Kaczmarek again. Already had another great block for this Polish side. And his buddy Dvorzecki was there as well to back him up. So far, he's had 2 assists out of the 3, and both of them went to Kaczmarek. So good connection in this savage O-line between those two players. So now the Hungarians trapped Savage on the sideline. As they go deep, I don't see, but I'm already guessing who that was. Just talking about it. It's like the opposite of the commentator curse. I'm saying this connection works well, so you would expect it to not work then anymore, but just as I say that, nice hug from his own end zone. Doesn't look like much wind, so just a lot of power. I'm not sure if he was in the air when he caught that, but they counted a goal anyway, so nice backhand hug from Dvorzecki to the Kaczmarek. Kaczmarek, before the game, went up to his team and said, right, let's go team, and just so you know, I'm going to score every point. And the team said, all right, that's fine, we'll do that. And they've stuck with that tactic so far. It's been working for them quite good. So they're leading 4-3. If you're enjoying the stream, make sure to let me know. You can reach me on Instagram. It's at Benjamin Ort. Send me a DM about, I don't know, favorite player or favorite play or feedback or what you think about this tournament. Happy to hear any messages from you. Scoop over top. As both teams playing zone, which I think is again, it's a good strategic plan. As we see another drop, and the Polish person open deep, just trying to reach it, ended up going with the hammer. Resetting, give, go. Back to the middle. Gives and goes again. And goes for the end zone. What a point. From, I think it was Mateusz Gipki. Apologies if I'm not pronouncing that correctly, but catching that hammer and then going every other to secure this break. Just big for this Polish side. And so on the other fields, just a little update. We got Skydisk Warsaw versus KS Flow in Wrocław, Polish derby, tied at 8-8 so far. Steam Hug from Turkey, I believe, against Mosquitoes from from Austria. Currently 10-8 in the favor of Mosquitoes. The Hungarians are back on offense. Vertical stack. This time we see a person matchup defense as we see Pikal. Clemens was taking off deep. Lots of pressure on the underneath. Little bump on the mark. No call, it seems. Just, Savage D-line looking at another zone, so Hungarians O-line playing zone on the turn as they find a way through. So the Hungarian players are complaining a bit, but maybe the level of physicality. My solution would be to maybe call a foul if someone is fouling you, which didn't seem to happen, so not sure what the conversation was about. But maybe it's getting a bit heated here because Savage taking the lead 6-3. We're already 50 minutes into this game. It's a very low-scoring game so far. But Savage, the team right now that seems to have better control over this game. So games can end in a lower score. Obviously the cap is to 15, but it looks like this game will probably not reach that 15 points. And so you can end a game with a lower score, but it will just count less. So you can get less points, but also lose less points. So I think at this point, with Heroes trailing, the fact that it's a low-scoring game is probably in their favor, because they're the team that is supposed, quote unquote, to win this game by 2, or expected, I should say. As they go for another hammer. Will this work? It did work, just slightly out of the end zone. Looking for options. Getting the reset. Going to the end zone again, this time for the score. It's an important hold here for Heroes Flying Disc. Stop the bleeding a bit. It was 3 points in a row for Savage. Stay in this game. And so we can see that on the other field, Steamhack only trailing Mosquitoes 8-11 is going to be very, if they can keep up this margin, it's going to be very good for their ranking, because the rating difference between those two teams is almost 700 points, which is a lot. So the expected score is a blowout, meaning that the algorithm predicts that Mosquitoes supposed to beat them by at least, I think the blowout margin is 15-6 or 15-7, so by a lot, or 15-5 even. I think by 10. So The fact that Steamunk is that close is going to be very good. And as I said before, it's going to be a tricky situation for these top teams at this tournament. And in a way, we can see it here as well with Heroes. If Savage can keep up this playing and maintain this lead as Heroes get a crucial block. And Clemens picks up. C resets. Goes for a little give go kind of offense. Jump cut to back. High stall, just gets it off. Nice pressure there, but also a good catch. Good cut up the line. Choked him out. So takes an inside shot. Will it work? No. That's good defense from Savage. You could see a couple high stall situations, and what I would love to see from Heroes next time is to get that disc off the sideline. And I know that I now sound like a boring coach, but that dump swing would have probably been good for Heroes at that point to change the angle of attack a bit. And use the whole field in your offensive possession. So now Savage. Try to go over the top. Too high. Heroes with a short field turn now. So now they use this side of the field as well. Swing it backside. It's a nice block. As they go off for the race after the races. Two buddies again. And it seems to work. I think they were looking at each other like, oh, because Kashmanek at the disc. He's like, I'm not supposed to give the assist. So I'll give it to you and then I'll score, right? That's how it works. And Dvorzhaki was like, yeah, you're right. That's I got confused there for a sec. So they went back to what they know best. Another Dvorzhaki to Kashmanek score. So I think the third or the fourth. I think the fourth one this game. So 4 out of the 7 goals for Savage or Dvorzhaki to Kashmanek. So far, Hungarians have not found an answer to these two. So we see Savage back on D. Be interested to see what they come up with now to try to break for half. They go for their zone offense as I believe Clemens tried to brick it, or at least he was clapping, but I think the disc landed inbounds, rolled out of bounds, so we'll pick it up on the cone. And as we see the Savage zone. Expected? Really forcing this Heroes team to execute. See if they can just be patient and keep the disc in hand. So finally find a way to the middle. Should like to see, and they go back to that same spot. As we see a nice layout catch. Nicely attacked. It's definitely Melinda Kolar-Nagy been a crucial part for this Hungarian side. As well as Luka Takac. It's on the disc right here. Lovely players. Important to get late stall resets for this team as they take another play to the end zone. Wide open receiver. Savage forgot about that one in the back of the end zone. Nicely found. It's good to see. It's not the first time we see the blade to that corner of the end zone, and fortunately there's a couple one that have been turnovers, but I think the last 2 or 3 connected for the Hungarian side. So it's good to see that this game is starting to pick up a bit in terms of precision and execution level. So the Hungarians are trying to figure out who is still gonna play this point. There you go. You only had 5 players on the line. Now it's the 6th one joining. We'll need one more. There they are. And it would be an incredible performance for this Hungarian side if they can come back. Only playing with 15 players. So we see a nice pull from Clement. So we see the Hungarians, they go back to their zone. It's the little diamond kind of. It's a nice changing zone. I believe on the sideline it's more of a cup, trapping the opponent, and on the middle it's more of a straight up wall. So it's a lovely shot. Playing 3 against 1 here. Hungarians catch up. But Savage just patiently going. There's a travel call by Clement. Let's see if that foot moves. That looks not like a travel. But his teammate agreed with me, I think, and asked him to retract that call, which he did. So nicely fair-minded teammate there. As Savage takes half, 8-5. After 60 minutes, we've just turned 1 past 10 now, so we've been playing for an hour, only reaching half now. So yeah, definitely says a lot about the quality of the play in the beginning. Still was exciting to watch. Some good plays we've seen all along, and it's been good that after that marathon point to make it 3-3, the point that took 22 minutes to complete, including 3 timeouts. It's good to see that both teams have cleaned up their offense a bit and are now heading into the second half. Small update on the other field. Again, Skydisc Warsaw leading Flow Ultimate 9-8. Mosquitoes leading Steamrock 12-9. Desperately trying to extend that lead as much as possible. As Heroes are starting on offense to start the second half. So we see a person defense. Maybe that will be the second half adjustment for this Polish side. We see Polish forcing middle. But or maybe that was just one force. Transition to backhand force. Nicely taken there. Tough catch. Aggressive up the line cut. Scuba fake. Love to see it. Pops it almost into the end zone. Just looking for the upline again. High disc. Just got it. It looked a bit iffy when he released that, but actually was perfectly placed. Yes, that was a very comfortable hold for the Heroes, and that's maybe more like the level that they're trying to play here in Russia. Really had to warm up maybe a bit in this first half, but so far this looks much more like the Heroes flying disc that we might be expecting, sitting in 10th place in the ranking of the EUCS. We still are not done yet. The Hungarians are not agreeing with Savage's plan to make the second half a person defense contest. They will stick with the zone, which has been working for them quite well, I feel like. And maybe try to mediate that connection right there. Two Polish superstars. Really dangerous working together as they find a nice shot on the doorstep right now to the end zone. That's a good possession here for Savage. As we hear the timekeeper announcing 5 minutes left. Always thankful for timekeepers, volunteers, people that do the stats or all at once. If you're here in Warsaw or at any tournament, make sure to give a high five or a hug to a volunteer. It's wonderful things they do for the community, and without them, these tournaments would not be possible. So we see some dispute over the gender ratio in this point. UF opting to go for the last few years. I think they were the first federation actually to start with the ABBA rule. ABBA meaning ABBA. Also the band from Sweden, of course, but it in this case stands for the ratio of female matching players and male matching players on the line. So the first point is A. So let's say that you start with 4 male matching players, then it's B. So then it's 2 points in a row that it's female matching players that are having the 4 players on the line, and then it's back to A, and so forth. This was to as we see the Hungarians playing in their vertical stack, having nice flow here. feel like maybe the Savage D-line should go back to that zone defense, trying to slow down the Hungarians, as this is an easy hold. So yeah, before it was before the ABBA, it was the rule that you could determine yourself if you wanted to play. If you're on offense, you could determine if you wanted to play with 4 female matching players or 4 male matching players on the line. They've changed that to make sure that both genders are equally represented on the field throughout the whole game. And then I think in 2022, so like 2 years ago, they also included that the pulling rule would also be in place. So meaning that whichever gender is the more dominant gender on the line, so whoever gender is the 4 players, that's the gender that should be pulling. So in this case, there's 4 male matching players on the line, and that results in a pull from Clement. Is there some dispute if the Polish player had asked for a brick or if he's just walking up? It seems like he's doing the latter. So this is a very short field turn, or short field to work with here for Savage. So they go right through the cup. No real pressure here. And that's a miscommunication, I believe. That was a wide open. I'm a bit confused because there seemed to be not a lot of reaction to this, but it was a crucial turnover here for Savage in a possession that was so far not contested at all. But Heroes go the other way. It's in high disc. There's a lot of players underneath it. There is some contact. That's Nagy. She definitely got hit. I believe that's Dvorzecki on there. Let's see what happened. Yeah, so there's some sort of collision, or she tripped, or I believe there was contact with her female matching matchup. Dvorzecki went up. He's arguing that she could have never gotten to that disc before he could, which is a fair argument, and I think she's arguing, I got tripped, so that's still a foul. This goes back. I feel like both teams are okay with that decision. And the Hungarians go the other way. So you see a high stall. See how she can get there. Again, it's the short field, small flick that has been difficult for these players to execute. It's a tough situation. As Savage goes with the hammer right away. Nice catch. I think that's Dvorzecki with the catch. Yes, I believe that yes, the time has just expired. The score is 10-7, I believe. Yes, now the score just got updated on the stream as well. 10-7, Cap +1. So if you're Savage, you're already very happy with this scenario. Worst case, Heroes make a big comeback and you lose by 1. You'll still probably gain some points and that'll be good. It won't be great for the tournament because you just got a loss, but for the ranking, it will be quite good. And I feel like if you're heroes, whatever happens now, you can still be quite happy. I feel like they didn't have a good first half. They just made a lot of mistakes. They came back in the second half with much better ultimate. As they go deep right away, trying to get this score in. That's a nice disc, but even nicer defense. Is there a call or not? He was making. Let's have another look. Defensive player has a couple of steps, but he makes up. Maybe I'm not sure if he touched it or was just the amount of pressure that was on there, but great defensive play nonetheless. As Savage tried to put this game away, but they got the full field to work with. Hungarians go to the zone. We see nice D from Clemens, trying to avoid the contact. Nicely done. So go to the end zone right away, but slightly overshot it. See some frustration on the face from Mixa. Not happy with that decision. You can imagine they have a short field to work with and trying to build this comeback, get back into this game. Well, get back into the game. They're trying to turn around this game, which they're close to losing right now. And those decisions can be very costly. Nice one-handed grab. And goes through the middle to the side. The Polish have handled this zone very well, especially in the second half. So we see nice pressure from Mixa trying to get that disc back that his teammate turned over a couple seconds ago. To go over the top, give, go. Almost to the end zone. They fake the last pass. Here's where you have to be patient. They swing it one more time. Back to the middle. I like to see that. Lots of fakes. And they go for the hammer to the back. No one's there but the receiver. And Savage take this game 11-7. And that's a big one. And what a way to start this tournament for Savage. I mean, they went 5-1. I said before in their spring tour. So maybe they were slightly disappointed that they only are 22nd. Or no, not 22nd. I'm sorry. They're only 26th in the ranking. So maybe trying to really prove everyone that hey, we can be better than the 26th and just beat the number 10 seed in the ranking. Heroes Flying Disc from Budapest. Definitely a good second half. Both teams recovered well, but both teams still have lots to work for, especially if they want to attack some of these other teams like Mosquitoes and Tartu. But it's been a pleasure for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this coverage from the summer tour here in Warsaw between Heroes Flying Disc and Savage. Thanks for tuning in. Make sure to tune in to other live streams happening. There's lots going on this weekend here at the EUF, so make sure to tune in and see you next time. Thank you so much.